We're here in his car. The time is 9:50, September 22nd, 2006. Unfortunately, we have the grueling task of killing our two friends, and they are right in that house just down the street.
We just talked to them. We were there for an hour, but
We checked out the whole house. We know there's lots of doors. There's lots of places to hide. I unlocked the back doors, so it's all unlocked. Now we just gotta wait, and yeah, we're really nervous right now, but you know, we're ready.
we're listening to the greatest rock band
We've
ever,
waited for this for a long time.
Pink Floyd, before we commit the ultimate crime of murder.
We waited for this for a long time.
A long time.
We'll stay tuned. Just killed Cassie. We just left her house. This is not a fucking joke.
I'm shaking.
I stabbed her in the throat, and I saw her lifeless body just disappear. Dude, I just killed Cassie. Oh, fuck.
Scream was created and inspired by fear brought to the director from a serial killer known as Danny Rolling. Known as the Gainesville Ripper, Danny Rolling was an American serial killer who went on to kill 5 college students in Florida over a 4-day span in August of 1990. But Scream would also inspire 2 young individuals by the name of Brian Lee Draper and Torey Adamcik, which would lead these 2 individuals in becoming nicknamed the Scream Killers. Like most of you interested in true crime, most of us wonder what goes through an individual's head weeks, days, or hours before a murder is committed. And although this case doesn't speak for them all, is that we get a small understanding or a small insight into a person's mindset prior to them committing a murder, due to the fact that these 2 individuals filmed everything leading up to the murder as well as after the murder. Of course, this would subsequently be used against them later on in court, which is just one of the reasons why they are convicted, and now currently both serving life sentences for the death of Cassie Stoddard. On the night of September 22nd, 2006, Cassie Jo Stoddard was house-sitting for her aunt and uncle, Allison and Frank Contreras, on Whispering Cliffs Drive in northeast Bannock County. The Contreras family was out of town and had hired Stoddard to come take care of their 3 cats and 2 dogs for the weekend. Cassie arrived and was later visited that evening by her boyfriend, Matt Beckham, who arrived at around about 6 p.m. Later, classmates Brian Draper and Torey Adamcik, who were both aged 16 at the time, came over to the house to simply hang out. Stoddard gave the friends a tour of the house, including the basement, and the 4 teens went into the living room to watch the film Kill Bill Volume 2. But Adamcik and Draper ended up leaving before the film ended, saying that they wanted to watch a movie at their local movie theatre instead. So Cassie and her boyfriend Matt stayed behind. The thing was though, was that Cassie was unaware that before the boys had left, while giving them a tour of the house, Draper had unlocked the basement door so that he and Adamcik could re-enter the house undetected. Sometime after leaving the house on Whispering Cliffs, Draper and Adamcik returned to the neighbourhood, parked down the street, got out of their car, and put on costumes consisting of dark clothing, gloves, and white painted masks. The boys quietly entered the house through the basement door while Cassie and Matt were watching television in the living room. They initially made loud noises in an unsuccessful attempt to lure Matt and Cassie downstairs so that they could scare them. Next, they found the circuit breaker and turned off the power in the house, hoping that the pair would come downstairs to check the breaker. So when Matt and Cassie did not come downstairs, the boys then decided to turn some of the lights back on. Cassie became uneasy after the temporary power outage, and Matt noticed that one of the Contreras' dogs kept staring down the basement stairs, periodically barking or growling. Seeing that Cassie felt scared, Matt called his mother to ask if he could stay the night at the house with her to ease her mind, but she denied the request. Instead, she offered to let Cassie come home with Matt and stay at their house for the night, and that she would bring Cassie back to the house the next morning. However, Cassie felt like it was her responsibility to stay at the house, as she was hired to do so to care for the animals, and so declined the offer from Matthew's mother. At approximately 10:30 p.m, Matt's mother picked him up, leaving Cassie at the house alone. Matt then called Torey's cell phone to see where him and Brian were, possibly to meet up with them later. Matt said that he could barely hear Torey, who was whispering on the phone, and just simply assumed the boys were in the movie theatre. Problematically, Brian Lee Draper and Torey Adamcik were hiding in the the basement downstairs. And from that basement, both Brian and Torey heard Beckham leave. And the reason why they were quietly whispering was so that it was Cassie that didn't hear them. The teens would then turn the lights out again on the circuit breaker and wait, hoping that Cassie would come downstairs to turn the lights back on. But she didn't. And eventually, the boys went upstairs. Brian Lee Draper was armed with a dagger-type weapon, and Torey Adamcik had a hunting knife, with these weapons being purchased at a local pawn shop. Brian would then open and slam a closet door shut at the top of the stairs to try and scare Casey, who at the time was lying on the couch in the living room. Then the boys brutally attacked her, stabbing her approximately 30 times, 12 of those wounds being potentially fatal. And because Cassie was dog and cat sitting at her aunt and uncle's house, her body wasn't discovered until they came home 2 days later. Now, Matt Beckham, Casey's boyfriend at the time, was initially considered a person of interest after his fingerprints were found on the circuit breaker door in the basement where the lights had been tampered with in the lead up to the murder. However, he provided a reasonable explanation to this discovery, as he'd previously done electrical work at the Contreras house prior to the murder taking place, which was then corroborated by the Contreras family. Not only that, but Matt was the last known individual to see Cassie alive, and this would be when he confirmed to police that the lights in the home were flickering on and off when he was present at the residence. To back up the fact that Casey was also alive when Matt left, Matt's mother would explain to police that she actually heard Casey's voice as Matt came out of the residence. So after Matt was cleared by a polygraph test and a consistent alibi, detectives would then bring in Brian Lee Draper and Torey Adamcik for further questioning. Draper and Adamcik told the police that once they left the Whispering Cliffs residence, they went downtown to watch the movie Pulse. But after the teens couldn't recount any details from the movie, the detectives pressed harder to determine their whereabouts. They then later claimed that they had instead gone through cars in the area and was not in fact present during the time that the film was being played. Draper eventually confessed to the police but downplayed his role in the crime. During the interrogations, both teens blamed one another. Detectives in this case simply made one another think that they were just giving out information about each other, and due to the teens' young age at the time, they quite simply just used one another against each other. Brian claimed that he was in the same room with Torey when Casey was killed but denied stabbing her. Then he later admitted to stabbing her under alleged commands from Torey. He then led investigators to Black Rock Canyon, where the teens had partially burned and buried the clothing, mask, and weapons that they'd used for the murder. And this is where the police recovered a partially burned Sony VHS tape, which after restoration showed video footage of their plans to kill Casey Jo Stoddart before and after. And after restoration, these were the tapes that were played in court.
September 22nd, 2006. We're skipping our 4th hour. We're writing our plan right now for tonight. It's gonna be cool. Sorry, our locker. Got my Halloween
Pretty
stuff.
fucking sweet, isn't it?
My trench coat.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's decently sweet. Got my smokes here.
Well, I'm gonna...
We're going for a high death count.
We're not going not to get caught, Ryan. If we're going for guns, we're just gonna end it. We're just gonna grab the guns and get out of there, kill everybody and leave.
We're going to make history. We're gonna make history.
For all you FBI agents watching this, you weren't quick enough.
You weren't quick enough and you weren't smart enough. And we're going over today to Nixon's house. We're gonna go snoop around over there and try to see if she's home alone or not. And if she's home alone, splat! She did.
Don't put your humor into this, Ryan.
I'm not putting you over into it. Yep. People will die. And then memories will fade.
Memories will fade. I wonder what movie you got that from, Brian.
Myself. That was for myself.
No wonder it was so lame.
Okay, we're on our way, and I'll let you stay tuned. We're almost there. Dixon's house. It's clear out there in the pasture. We've already snooped around her house a couple times. She's not home, so we're gonna go to the church over there, and we're gonna call a girl and a guy named Cassie and Matt. They're our friends, but we have to make sacrifices, so I feel tonight it is the night, and I feel really weird, inside my stomach and stuff, and I feel like I want to kill somebody. I know that's not normal, but what the hell?
I feel we need to break away from normal life.
How bright is this light?
Because, let's put it this way. Parents, along with their parents, and so on, taught them about God, Jesus, the whole bullshit line. I'm sure you guys believe in God as well. I realized when I was in 7th grade, you don't believe in Santa Claus or vampires or werewolves. They're used to metaphor not to let. They teach their kids back in the 1800s. I learned this in English class about telling their kids that you can't go outside or a vampire will get you, just to make their kids stay and do what they want to do. God is basically the same way.
Yep.
Trying to get people to do good, or else, so-called, you go to hell.
And we're obviously going to hell if it's real, but who gives a shit?
Yeah, and why would you
but
say
it's not real? It's
right?
not real, because it's so blatantly obvious it's not real, but...
People believe it because their parents teach them, and so it's so hard for them to let go of it because they've been taught their whole life.
Yeah, I know.
But the point I'm making is we are also taught that things like killing people and other thing is wrong. The only thing that it's wrong about is because it's breaking the law, and the law is only wrong. The law
Natural selection, dude.
Because
natural selection, that's all I gotta say.
There should be no law against killing people. I know it's a wrong thing, but hell, you restrict somebody from it, they're gonna want it more.
Exactly. Goodbye, camera. He's not home. My friend's too pussy to go investigate. Turn here.
Too smart.
Why are you turning there, dude?
Nothing special.
Okay. Now we're gonna go over to Cassie and Matt's house. If they're home alone, we're gonna.
If Cassie's house, Matt is there.
Matt is there. Sorry. We're gonna go. We're gonna knock on the door. We'll see who's there. We'll see if their parents are home or not. If they're home alone, we will leave our way, and then we will come back in about 10 minutes. We'll sneak in through the door because chances are they're probably in Cassie's room. So we'll sneak in the front door. We'll make a noise outside. And Matt will come out to investigate, kill him, and it will scare the shit out of Cassie. Okay? Well,
sounds like fun.
We'll stay tuned. We found our victim, and sad as it may be, she's our friend. But you know what? We all have to make sacrifices. Our first victim is going to be Cassie Stoddard and her friends.
God, turn your brights off, asshole.
Well, we'll find out if she has friends over. She's gonna be alone in a big, dark house out in the middle of nowhere. How perfect can you get? I mean, like, holy shit, dude.
I'm horny just thinking about it.
Hell yeah. So we're gonna fucking kill her and her friends, and we're gonna keep moving on. I heard some news about Kirsten. She's gonna be home alone from 6 to 7. So we might kill her, then drive over to Cassie's thing, and scare the shit out of them, then kill them one by fucking one. Hell yeah.
Why 1 by 1? Why can't it be a
2 by 2 and 3 by 3? Because we gotta keep it classy. So yeah,
classy.
It's gonna be extra fun.
You're evil.
Yes, I am. So are you.
No, evil is an expression of God. That was another test you failed.
Evil is not an expression of God.
Yes, it is.
It's bullshit. You know it.
Evil, the origin, is a follower of fucking Satan.
There is no Satan.
Real? Then shut up.
Then how are we supposed to express ourselves?
Good and bad.
We're bad.
We're bad.
That sounds so shitty.
We're evil. That sounds even shittier.
We're not, okay? Then we're sick psychopaths that get pleasure of killing other people.
That sounds good, baby.
We're gonna go down in history. We're gonna be just like Scream, except real life terms.
That
we're
sounds
gonna be murderers.
good, baby.
Like, let's see, Ted Bundy, like the Hillside Strangler,
No.
the Zodiac Killer.
Those people are more amateurs compared to what we're gonna be. We're gonna be more of higher sources of
Gene. Well, except for that sick and that twisted.
Oh, do you know what Gene's words were?
What?
Saw a girl walking down the street, right?
Yeah.
2 questions came to his head. I could take her out, have a nice time with her,
The killer.
and show her a
Get
good
her
time,
alive?
charm the pants off her, or I wonder what her head would look like on a stick.
Holy shit.
That's creepy,
Yes.
huh?
Holy shit. Murder is power. Murder is freedom. Goodbye. We're here in his car. The time is 9:50. September 22nd, 2006. Unfortunately, we have the grueling task of killing our 2 friends. And they are right in that house just down the street.
We just talked to them. We were there for an hour. But
We checked out the whole house. We know there's lots of doors. There's lots of places to hide. I unlocked the back doors, so it's all locked. Now we just gotta wait. And yeah, we're really nervous right now, but you know, we're ready.
we're listening to the greatest rock band
We've
ever,
waited for this for a long time.
Pink Floyd, before we commit the ultimate crime of murder.
We waited for this for a long time.
A long time.
We'll stay tuned. Just killed Cassie. We just left her house. This is not a fucking joke.
I'm shaking.
I stabbed her in the throat and I saw her lifeless body just disappear. Dude, I just killed Cassie. Oh, fuck. That felt like it wasn't even real. I mean, it went by so
Shut
fast.
the fuck up. We gotta get our act straight.
It's okay. Okay, let's buy movie tickets now.
Okay.
Come on, goodbye.
No.
Goodbye.
At trial, the prosecution revealed that Brian had said that he was inspired by Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, who committed the Columbine High School massacre. Later, Torey was said to have been inspired by the Scream horror franchise. Brian Lee Draper was convicted on April 17th, 2007, and Torey Adamcik was convicted on June 8th, 2007. On August 21, 2007, based on being convicted of first-degree murder, each received a mandatory sentence of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, plus an additional 30 years to life for being convicted of conspiracy to commit murder. Torey Adamcik and Brian Lee Draper are both serving their time at Idaho State Correctional Institution. And in November of 2019, Torey Adamcik's sentence was upheld after his appeal was denied by Idaho Supreme Court. And there we go. Let me know some of your thoughts in the comment section about this one down below. It's a seriously weird and interesting case to go through because trying to understand it from a psychological point is really hard, seeing as their brains at this point are still developing. The 2 individuals are only 16 at the time. But in watching their compassion, their excitement, and their ideology behind their plan and reasoning before then killing an innocent individual who was meant to have been seen as one of their friends. And all quite simply for their own simple satisfaction. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll be sure to catch you in the next one. If not, then just thanks for watching.